Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the brand new Tower of Adversity changes. I just got done with Tower of Adversity, and I want to give y'all my take from someone that has multiple teams, all premium built, and as well as having S6 characters. So I know you guys might think it feels different. Yo, you have S6 characters, so it's going to be hard for you to understand. But I'm going to give you my take on it nonetheless, and I still try to get myself in the shoes of people that are, just starting out, somewhere in the middle, and all that good stuff. Now, I gotta say, I enjoy the fact that they added more floors, especially to the Hazard Tower, because, it's harder content, and personally, I have been wanting more content in the game, but I do understand why there are people out there that are not really enjoying this new change to Tower of Adversity. So there are some things I want to talk about before I specifically give you my opinion on this. First off, who is Tower of Adversity made for, right? I don't think that new players or people that have been playing the game for a month are clearing Tower of Adversity even before they got this new change done to them. So when we think of Tower of Adversity, I don't particularly think of brand new players that are playing Withering Waves for a month, maybe even 2 months. Sure, you can probably clear Tower of Adversity in a month of playing WoWA if you specifically set your sights on clearing it in a month. Meaning you're going to be building some random 4 stars and some characters you might not really want to build, but you're doing it to specifically clear Tower of Adversity, which is probably not fun or an optimal use of your resources, right? So I don't think that new players complaining about Tower of Adversity, getting these new changes and being harder, players that have been playing the game for like, a month, maybe even 2 months, are the target audience for this video, right? That's all I'm saying. Now, if we're talking about veteran players, people that have been playing several months, maybe, 8 months, 6 months, you should at this point be able to clear Tower of Adversity, even with the recent changes. Now, it all comes down to managing your characters, managing your teams, and also learning how you can clear Tower of Adversity without wasting as many resources. So if we go over here and look right here, you guys see that the first 3 floors on both the left and the right of tower were cleared with only 1 character. Now, I know someone's going to be in the comments, well, you have S6 characters. Of course you can clear it with 1 unit. Look, I was doing this exact thing for these same 3 floors a while back with units that I don't particularly use anymore. So if you have like a Jin Shi team laying around that you don't particularly use anymore, you can clear the first 3 floors with that team or, those characters. You can clear those first 3 floors with a solo S0 brand that you might have laying around. Right here, Electro Res's Decrease. You can clear this with a team of like Kalcharo or Zhang Liao and what's-her-face, Yin Lian. So just try to use characters that you don't use as much, older units that you might have worked on that you don't particularly use on your main team. That's the one thing a lot of people wanna have to learn. There's a dude in my Discord that literally cleared, I don't remember if it was this side, it was probably this side, with the free-to-play Jin Shi team, all of the floors. So this is Jin Shi, the old man, Yuan Wu, and Verena. A team that is not currently popular. People shit talk Yuan Wu without a problem. Yes, he did sweat a little bit on the last stage, because the last stage is a little bit of a pain in the butt. But you can absolutely clear these first 3 stages. So we're really talking about the last stage on the left, on the right, and these 4 stages, right? Personally, I think I don't have a problem with Kuro wanting to push more teams to be built, more people to go out of their way and start building some characters. And once again, if you take advantage of the buffs, because these first 2 floors are the same 2 floors we've always had, right? You have your resistances and your buffs. Pretty much the same thing as always. No problem whatsoever, right? So the real big conversation comes from the last 2 floors. This is what a lot of people seem to be getting upset about. The fact that Kuro decided to add 2 more floors, and I might be mistaken, but these 2 floors give you a grand total, an insane amount A massive income of 100 asteroids per Tower of Adversity cycle. I know. What are we going to do without 100 asteroids? Oh my lord, bro. That's just too much, right? So, personally, I don't think it's that big of a problem, right? Because even if you miss out on 5 cycles of Tower of Adversity, while you take the time to build your team, 5 cycles of Tower of Adversity, you're missing out on 500 asteroids. Bro, I think that's less than 1/3 of a tentpole. In 5 cycles, how long does Tower of Adversity last? Bro, 27 days. 27, is that how long Tower of Adversity lasts? I thought that shit was 15 days. Oh, hell no. Let's say 15 days, bro. You ain't missing out on much. Even if you take 5 Tower of Adversity cycles to build another team through pulling on limited banners that you like, new characters that you like, you're missing out on 1/3 of a temple. So you don't really even need to be mad that you can't absolutely clear the 2 new floors, because it's barely impactful whatsoever to most people's accounts. If anything, it should push you to want to build new teams. Try new comps and challenge yourself to beat these new stages and see how your roster feels a little bit more varied by trying other characters. Maybe characters that you've pulled before that you really haven't used. Maybe standard banner comps you could use to clear the side towers. People literally have been saying they're clearing floors like this with a character like Jinshi, Yuan Wu, and Verena. Verena, standard banner character, Yuan Wu, a 4-star, and Jinshi, a 1-year-old character at this point, right? Same with the right side. People are clearing this with characters like Calcharo, Yin Lin, and Averina. Or Zhang Liao, Yin Lin, and Averina. So it can be done. It's just a matter of investing your resources a little bit better and not complaining so much. Because at the end of the day, people want things to be made easier, even if it's barely impactful whatsoever, bro. Because at the end of the day, y'all really are going to act like you're mad about missing out on 100 asteroids because they gave us a little bit more content. They gave you a reason to build more teams. It's 100 asteroids. It's nothing. Even if you are clearing it, you clear 5 rotations of Tower of Adversity, you get 1/3 of a temple. Oh my god, it's going to change my life. It's going to change my life, bro. Bro, you would have to clear 16 rotations of Tower of Adversity to get a temple just from those 2 floors. From those 2 floors alone. I'm gonna be honest, that shit is stupid. People that are complaining about that are just looking to complain because they want to complain. People that actually want to give a reason to, oh, I can't beat it. It just got harder for me. Now I gotta pull more units. So what if specific floors are still tailor-made or more catered towards other characters? Like, for example, right here. Gain 30% heavy attack damage bonus. Casting Resonance Liberation grants a shield. Yada, yada. Yes, that is for Augusta. 100%. But let's not sit here and act like every time they release a new unit, these floors aren't tailor-made for the new units. It's been like that since 1994. And it's probably going to continue to be like this because I know people think that they should get most characters for free, the game should be easy, and everybody from a brand new player to a veteran should have no problem clearing everything. But yo, this is a business. They gotta do something to make you want to pull the characters, be it adding the very specific buffs to the tower that, you know, cater to the new characters, or adding new floors that make you want to have other teams so you can clear the content. At the end of the day, personally, after having cleared Tower of Adversity with the new floors, I gotta say, yes, it does feel a little bit more difficult. Yes, you do have to think a little bit more about what teams you use and what characters you use on each side, and that's just with the addition of 2 floors. Imagine if they added 2 new floors to each side, or 3 new floors, making it 15, 15, 15. It would be quite a bit. So yes, it is a little bit more complex. Yes, you have to think a little bit more, but let's be honest, it's been way too easy for far too long. It really should not be a problem whatsoever. We have people in the chat Talking about, I used Jinshi to clear. Yo, I used Cardathea and Camellia to clear middle tower. All at S0. S0, R1, no problem. Just managing your teams, managing your resources, learning the rotations of your character. But a lot of people don't want to put the effort into learning the teams, building characters, and then they complain about something as simplistic as 2 more floors. All in all, I think is not that big of a deal. Could Kuro do things to maybe make this easier? I guess, sure. Maybe they can make it so the last 2 floors don't require energy for your characters, right? So it's the same as it's always been. In the last 2 floors, you could use whatever team you want because it doesn't require energy. Sure, they can do that. Is it really that big of a deal? Like, the same players that are complaining right now about not having enough teams, are you going to be saying the same thing 3-4 months from now when you pulled a few more units and have more teams? Probably not. So just understand, you can't beat everything right away. And if you're having trouble with it, maybe you just need to invest a little bit more time into your account, build more units, and not cry about 100 Astrites because it's not that big of a deal. Even if we're talking about 10 rotations of Tower of Adversity, those extra 2 floors are giving you 1,000 Astrites in 10 rotations. That's it. That's it regarding my opinion for the brand new Tower of Adversity game mode. I know there's gonna be some cousin fuckers, hillbillies, the hills have eyes, wide neck, Cheeto bread, cross-legged, mouth-breathing people in my comments talking about, well, it's not a problem for you because you have S6, R5 characters. Even though I'm telling you, there are people in my community and all around the globe beating all of this with S0, R1 units. So just get good, take your time, invest into your account, and don't complain about missing 100 Astrites. Let them cook. You can't have everything at the end of the day. Take your time, and eventually you'll be able to do this without a problem. That's going to be it for the video, guys. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and let me know in the comment section. Am I tripping? Is this really that big of a problem where people are mad about the fact that they added 2 new floors? Is Kuro getting greedy? Are they really doing the Genshin thing where they're adding a game mode that is super hard? Or is this just nothing and people gotta stop tripping balls and smoking dick? Thank you guys for watching, and peace.